The legend of Midnight Manor is whispered only in hushed tones, passed from one fearful soul to another. It is said that every New Year's Eve, the mansion awakens, inviting unsuspecting revelers to partake in its deadly game, a game of time, a race against the inevitable. The rules are simple. Escape the mansion before the clock strikes 12. But those who fail, they are not granted the mercy of death. Time itself becomes their tormentor. Their bodies remain trapped within the mansion's walls, twisted into grotesque reflections of their final moments. Their faces bear eternal anguish, frozen mid-scream, as though the terror of their last seconds never faded. And their souls? They become the shadows. Invisible chains bind them to the mansion, where they wander aimlessly, whispering warnings to the next unfortunate victims. Their torment is endless, their screams unheard. Midnight Manor consumes them, feeding on their fear, their despair, and their lost time. As the legend goes, the game is a cruel bargain. Win, and you walk away with your life. Lose, and you forfeit more than your existence. You become part of the manor's endless, insatiable hunger. TikTok. Midnight approaches. Today on Cryptic Chronicles is the story of Emily, who receives the invite to Midnight Manor. But will she come out alive? Let's find out.
The night feels wrong, too quiet, too still. Fireworks crackle faintly in the distance, but their sound is muffled, as though stifled by unseen hands. A towering clock tower looms, its hands crawling toward midnight. Flickering Christmas lights paint restless, jittery shadows across the streets, hinting at chaos lurking in the dark. New Year's Eve, a time for celebration, for promises made and broken. But some promises carry a price, and midnight always comes to collect. In a dimly lit apartment, Emily sits alone, scrolling her phone. The faint glow barely touches the darkness around her. A notification flashes. Emily's expression shifts from curiosity to fear as she reads the chilling invitation to Midnight Manor. Exclusive New Year's party, Midnight Manor. Be there before midnight or be doomed. Hesitant, she clicks the link. The screen flashes cryptic symbols before revealing an elegant yet ominous invitation. Celebrate the new year like never before, but beware, time waits for no one. Suddenly, a sharp echoing chime resonates through the room. Startled, Emily glances at the wall clock. 10:00 p.m. Outside, the wind howls briefly, as though calling her name. Emily moves towards Midnight Manor, a sprawling, decaying mansion breathing with shadows. Its edges blur with the dark, and the air seems alive, wrapping around her throat. The gravel beneath her feet crunches as she hesitates at the massive, rotting doors. They creak open on their own, revealing a grand, dimly lit hall that feels impossibly vast. A small group of guests lingers inside, pale and uneasy. Clocks of every shape and size adorn the walls, their hands frozen, their faces etched with dread. The host steps forward, draped in an immaculate suit, their smile too sharp, too wide. "Welcome," they say, their voice unsettlingly smooth. "Tonight, we honor an ancient tradition. At midnight, we shall witness the toll of time." The guests exchange wary glances. Fear gnaws at the edges of their minds. The host hands each guest an ornate pocket watch, its ticking faint yet intrusive. The sound grows louder, like a heartbeat in the silence. "These will guide you," the host explains. "Before the clock strikes 12, you must find your way out. Fail, and time will claim you." Nervous laughter ripples through the group. At the stroke of 11:00 p.m., the mansion begins to shift. A low, insidious whisper snakes through the corridors, unintelligible yet filled with malice. Emily clutches her pocket watch tightly. "This isn't a game," she whispers, her voice trembling. The group fragments, each person drawn into the maze-like horror of the mansion. The ticking grows louder, pounding like war drums. Emily stumbles through endless hallways. Each turn unveils horrors that defy comprehension. A mirror reflects her aged, withered face. A room filled with shifting portraits watches her with eyes that weep blood. The whispers morph into mocking laughter. One by one, the guests disappear, their distorted screams echoing as shadows consume them. Clawing shapes writhe along the walls, deliberate, alive. At 11:59 p.m., Emily bursts back into the grand hall, shaking. The host stands calmly, their smile wider, their eyes darker. "What do you want from me? And what happened to others?" Emily cries, her voice breaking. "We want your time," they whisper. The other guests reappear, but they are no longer human. Shadows slither and bind them. All of a sudden, Emily's pocket watch starts glowing, its surface cracking and melting in her hand. "You've made it," they say, their voice dripping with venom. "What about others?" Emily asks. "They are mine forever," they laugh. The final chime of midnight echoes like a death knell. Shadows rise, engulfing Emily as her scream is swallowed by silence. When she wakes, she finds herself outside the mansion. The mansion stands eerily quiet, its doors yawning open to the indifferent city beyond. Fireworks burst overhead, their reflections distorted in the cracked windows. Inside, silence reigns. Another year, another toll. Midnight Manor awaits the next revelers, for time spares no one. Happy New Year's if you survive.